this video, I'm going to show you how to set up XSplit to work with VapersTV. So this is assuming you already have a VapersTV account and that you already have XSplit downloaded and open to the screen that's showing here. So to set up XSplit to use VapersTV, we're going to go to Broadcast. We're going to go down to Add Channel. We're going to choose Custom RTMP. Now the setup screen will appear. We'll need some information from your VapersTV account. So what we'll need to do is go into VapersTV, log in, go to your settings section of your account. And once you get into settings, click on channel. And once you're in channel, you'll need to grab the stream key. The stream key allows you to connect to the broadcasting server at Vaughn. So just copy that, go back into your XSplit setup, and paste that stream key to where it says stream name. Now you want to go back and we need to grab the RTMP URL. So we'll go back into Vaughn, VapersTV, and we'll grab the primary RTMP URL. This is the server that you're connecting to when you go to do your broadcast or stream. So let's go back into XSplit, paste that URL in the RTMP URL field. Then for description, you can name it whatever you want. It's just something that's going to show up in your broadcast list to let you know which channel you're broadcasting to. Then you can leave description field blank. You can leave the share link field blank, and you can leave the user agent blank. The remaining settings are should be for codec, for video encoding should be X264. For max bitrate, this is adjustable, and we can get into how or why that needs to be changed in just a little bit. The mode should be VBR for variable bitrate. Audio encoding should be AAC LC HQ. Bitrate is in kilobits per second. That should be 96. And then the format is 44.1 kilohertz in mono. You'll want to remove the check mark from automatically save recording on local drive, and then make sure there's a check mark in interleave audio and video into one RTMP channel. In the bottom checkbox you can leave blank as well. Now you can click OK, and this will create your test or your broadcast account profile. If you want to go back in and make changes to the setup, you click on the gear icon next to the entry, and then you can go back in and make changes. Next, I'll show you why and how to adjust the max bitrate. Now I'll show you how to test your bandwidth for the connection to VapersTV and adjust the max bitrate. So what we want to do is go into our profile we just created from the previous steps and do a test bandwidth. This will bring up the bandwidth tester and run a series of tests. It may take about 30 seconds to complete, so we'll just give this time to complete, and then we'll look at the results. Okay, the test has completed. We're going to go over here to View Details, and we can see that the test result is green, and green means the largest bit rate was achieved and no frame was dropped. If you were to get a yellow or a red during this test, the red would mean drops were present you should not use the target bitrate. Yellow means the largest bitrate was not achieved. For all measurements, you should lower the bitrate and retry. So what we would do in those cases, close back out of the test and go into our max bitrate section here, and we can adjust that up or down. Obviously, if you've got a red or a yellow, you would want to go down. If you've got a green, you should be okay. And I would recommend changing it in increments of 100. So if you're already at 1,000 max bitrate, then you can try 900. If you were starting out at, I think the default when you first install XSplit is 1200, you can go down to 1100 and see how that does on the test. And that's pretty much it for adjusting the max bitrate. The goal of that is to keep from getting dropped frames during your broadcast, because those will make your broadcast appear choppy. So just try to get as close as you can to the green test result with the max bitrate, and you should be okay. So now we're going to click OK, and in the next section I'll show you how to set up a scene. Okay, now I'm going to show you how to set up scenes using sources. You can think of a source as an item that will appear in your broadcast on the screen. So this could be an image, it could be webcam, video capture, could be text, slideshow, it could be one of many different types of sources, could be a web page. So what we want to do is go into our scene. So we have 4 scenes that we get to use for the free version of XSplit, and you can click on those and switch between them. So we're going to set up our first scene. We can go to add down here in the lower left, or we can go up here to the tool menu bar and choose add source. Both are the same, so it doesn't matter where you do it. And we're just adding an image for a background. I'm already in my default directory, so we'll just add a cloud image. As you can see, it's pretty restricted. You can make it bigger, but it's going to have the little bars at the top and the bottom, or the sides, depending on how big you make it. To get rid of that, you can right click the source and it'll give you a property sheet, and you can also select the source and choose settings to get to that same sheet. We want to go to layout and choose keep aspect ratio to uncheck that. Then that makes the background or the image expand, and you can still edit the image, make it bigger or smaller. If you want to lock it in place so that it doesn't move while you're adding other sources, just select that, lock position. This menu is not really applicable or usable with the free version, so we'll just close that. And you can also crop the image by using these sliders here. If you wanted to crop it down, slide it to the right, crop it left, slide it to the right, and the same for the bottom and the right side. You can also change 3D aspects by holding down the shift key while adjusting the image on the screen. And the color tab allows you to adjust colors, contrast, and those kind of things, or make it a chroma key background or a color key. Those are kind of advanced options, which I'm not going to cover in this video. This video is primarily just to get you up and running with a basic scene setup and a connection to VapersTV. So let's add another source. This time we'll add some text, and I'll give you a tip on what kind of file to use when adding those types of images. So as you can see, this is transparent around the text. The way you do that is by using a transparent PNG file. It's a file that will end in .png. As you can see here, I have quite a few PNG files, and these are just ones I've created for myself. So those allow you to have transparency overlays. So if I wanted to add my webcam, I can just go in here to webcam capture card and choose my webcam from the list. Yours would show up differently if you have a different webcam. You can do multiple webcams. I'm not going to cover that in this video, but basically it's pretty much the same. You just select one webcam for one scene position and another webcam for another. You can have the same or multiple webcam sources on the same scene at once. I'll just show you here. I've got mine shut off right now. Again, if you want to adjust the size or the aspect ratio of the webcam view, just remove the check mark from keep aspect ratio, and you can lock the position. And then we're just going here and add another of the same cam, and you can adjust that as well. One thing to note here, think of the sources as layers. So anything at the top of the list is going to be closest to the viewer. Anything at the bottom is going to be the furthest away. So you can actually see how that top webcam image is over the text because it's higher in the list than the actual text is. If I wanted to change that, I could just select the text image and then move it up in the list, the layer list. So anything at the bottom is going to be further away from the viewer. Anything at the top is going to be closer. And then if you take a check mark out, it's also going to make it not be visible as well. So those are pretty cool things and help you make an interesting scene. To remove a source from the list, just select it in the list and click the remove button. Now we're going to go over some of the settings. So let's go to Tools, go to General Settings. We have 6 tabs here. The last 4 tabs are not really important for what we're doing in this video. It's just kind of informational, profile information. Advanced, you just leave it as the default settings, and hotkeys, you can go through and adjust those however you want. Those are more advanced kind of functions, and I'm not going to cover those in this video. So for the General tab, you can leave Enable Optimize Scene Transition selected. What this does is if you have it always show preview on button hover, I'll click Apply and I'll just show you what that does. So you can mouse over the scenes and it'll give you a display of what those are before you click them and select them. This is helpful if you are changing scenes in a broadcast and so that you don't accidentally select one that you don't want to be displayed. So let's go to General Settings, and of course show preview on the button hover when shift is pressed. This just allows you to do the same thing as before, but only if you're holding the shift key down like I'm doing now. And then the last option for that is just to never show a preview. Next we'll go into the Audio tab. For the audio preview, I'll leave that selected as none. I think that acts like a monitoring so that you actually hear what's being played through the broadcast. System sound, I'll leave it default speakers. Microphone, just select the microphone that you're going to be using for your broadcast from the list. If you want to get into the audio settings quickly, you can go down here and click on the little gear icon and it brings you straight into the audio tab for you to make changes. To make changes to your microphone output or sensitivity, you can raise that for less sensitivity, lower it. If you click on the icon itself, it mutes it. Kind of the same thing for the audio. This is more or less the music that's playing to the viewers. So if you want to lower the music, just move it down to the left. If you want to increase it, bring it to the right. And then you can also mute the music playback altogether by doing that. Next, I'm going to get into some tips and tricks or information that you might need to know about VapersTV and the stream key. So there are several servers that you can use when you're setting up your broadcast profile in XSplit. There's a primary ingest server, and then there's these other servers here that are located throughout the country or in different countries. If you have a server that is physically located closer to you, so say you're in California and you're broadcasting, you don't want to use the Virginia server, you don't want to use the New York server, you'd want to use a server that's closer to you, so that would probably be the primary server. However, if you are living in Virginia and you see that there is a server close to you, then you probably get better performance out of your broadcast by selecting the Virginia server to be used in the RTMP URL field in your XSplit setup. So thought I'd point that out. Also, with your stream key, if you are giving your stream key to other users or broadcasters so they can broadcast on your channel, you can also reset that stream key so that if, say, you no longer want anyone else to broadcast on your channel, you can reset the stream key and not give it out to anyone, and then that keeps people from broadcasting on your channel that may have broadcasted previously. So you just click on the reset stream key, ask for your password to verify you are who you are, and then it gives you the new stream key. So that is it for this video. I hope this information has been helpful. If you have any questions, leave those below, and thanks for watching. Have a good day.